What's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to do a video today talking about intermittent fasting a little bit and kind of touching on a few points about intermittent fasting, mostly just addressing a few questions that I've had from the fasting video I posted a few years back. In addition to that, I'd like to talk about training and fasting during Ramadan. So it's actually June 18th, I think, this year, so it's coming up next week. And I've had a couple people message me just asking about what their nutrition should look like and what their training program should look like during the month where they're basically doing fasting. So let's get right into it. I'd like to talk about those fasting points first in regards to just intermittent fasting. So the questions I've had, the biggest ones are, can you build muscle while fasting? And another one would basically be like, people just giving me their schedules and trying to work out or get me to help them work out how they can incorporate intermittent fasting into their scheduling and into their daily lives. So let's go with the first one here. Can you build muscle while doing intermittent fasting? So in my initial fasting video that I've uploaded a few years back, I had mentioned that it's not optimal to do intermittent fasting while trying to build muscle. So that was misunderstood by a lot of people, basically saying you cannot build muscle while fasting, which is retarded. That's foolishness. So you can build muscle while doing anything, really. What I meant was, in order to optimally build muscle and have a sort of a muscle building focus around your programming, if you're focusing on strength and powerlifting and whatnot, you really do need to eat regularly, frequently. It's tricky to do intermittent fasting, do an 18-hour fast, and you're planning to do heavy lifting and stuff like that. Like, you need the nutrients, you need carbs, you need proteins, fats, you need all these things in order to consistently build muscle on like a strength-based powerlifting type of program. So you can build muscle while fasting. In fact, fasting itself helps with your metabolism. It helps with the production of HGH, human growth hormone. So there are some benefits there. You will build muscle just by applying intermittent fasting and then working out, regularly along with it. So it's definitely possible. So what I meant was, don't go trying to do like a powerlifting, deadlift, squat, bench PR while you're doing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is great for cutting, for defining and toning your muscles. It has some spiritual benefits to it, some religious benefits, obviously, because we're talking about Ramadan in a minute. But its focus isn't around building strength and muscle. It's cutting and toning and losing the fat. If you want to build strength and muscle, you can apply fasting here or there, maybe one or 2 days a week. You don't want to do it like every single day. I mean, I did that. Back when I first uploaded that fasting video, I had fasted for 3 months straight, and I was building really good muscle, but that's because I was working out every single day for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, doing like only superset bodybuilding work and lots of cardio. So of course you're gonna build muscle, using that approach. This is actually what I'd like to talk about for Ramadan. But first, I just want to get into the scheduling thing. So if you're gonna message me or comment on any fasting video and ask like how you can integrate it into your schedule, oh man, link in the description below. I have an article on my website that I posted a few years back when I first lost a bunch of weight. I'll annotate the screen with some of my fatty pictures so you can take a look at those. I have an article on my website, read that, and it tells you basically how you can work the fasting hours. It doesn't really matter if you're a police officer or a nurse or a friggin' helicopter pilot. I mean, man, people throw some weird jobs at me. Not weird, but like obscure. It's not like they work at McDonald's and they're wondering how to start intermittent fasting. It's like, oh no, man, I fly a plane every Tuesday, so I got to figure out how to fast. It's like, geez, man, just work it out. So just take the instructions given in the article. I'm also going to link the previous fasting video I did. Really just figure out your fasting times and your eating window, and that's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be flawless. Just don't screw it up. When you're fasting, don't eat food. In the video I had mentioned drink tons of water. The thing is, for Ramadan, you actually can't drink water during your fasting period. I personally think that is out there, that is nuts. But, obviously people have their religious and spiritual beliefs, and, I respect that. Do as you will, do as you wish. I just think it's really important to drink water all the time. You know, I understand the purposes and the religious beliefs behind Ramadan. I don't see how holding back water is going to benefit you. You know, I can see holding back food, but holding back water doesn't. It kind of. I would draw the line there personally. And I know some people do. Some people just do the food thing, but they will consume water. So, on to Ramadan. Now, I had some questions where people were saying, how can I do intermittent fasting during Ramadan, which is basically like fasting. How can I eat and how can I train? So, basically what I would recommend doing is sticking to your normal fasting. Obviously, you're going to be fasting with Ramadan. You're not going to be drinking or eating, or you are going to be drinking. You know, you basically eat and consume your water after the sunset. I mean, that's sort of the religious belief system behind how Ramadan works. And a lot of people will train during the day, you know, in a fasted state, which is really good for weight loss. So now here's the concern I have with that, is because if you're not consuming water and you're training in the day, you're really depleting yourself. You're depleting yourself in a lot of ways. So I would recommend during the month of Ramadan, or the time when you're actually practicing this, to limit your training. Don't go too heavy. If your focus is weight loss, then do exactly what I just mentioned a moment ago. So a lot of superset bodybuilding exercises. I'm going to put a link in the description below to a video I did focusing on supersets. Basically, to summarize that, you want to, if you're doing a workout, let's say you're starting it out with maybe a 10-minute warm-up cardio, 5-10 minute warm-up cardio, moderate pace. You know, if you're using the jogging thing or the elliptical, you don't put it to like a 5, 6, whatever it is. You don't want to run, you just kind of like a light jog, just to get your heart going. Once you're done this, you want to get into your workout. Your workout itself should consist of not too many movements, not too much exercise. Just stick to a handful. You know, you don't want to overly exert yourself, especially if you're, you know, depleting yourself of water and food. So during your fasted workout here, you want to go from exercise to exercise at a moderate pace, keeping your heart rate up. This is obviously going to benefit you a lot for weight loss. So what you're going to want to try to do, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're doing dumbbell press for chest. So you go boom, 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 you do 10 reps of that. Immediately following that, or within 30 seconds, you get off the dumbbell press, you drop the dumbbells, you go over to, or you can pick them back up or go to a bar and do some barbell rows. So you immediately go from hitting the chest, one muscle group, and then you hit the opposing muscle group. Boom, boom, boom. Drop the weights, and then rows. It kind of looks like the same movement, right? But press, and then hit the back and do rows. So opposing muscle groups. Another example, this is one I really like doing if you get the cable machine with the cable curls and it has the little rope tricep thing. So you do tricep extensions with the rope, and then you slide the cable machine down, bring it to the bottom, and then you can use that same rope and do rope curls. So again, opposing muscle groups, triceps, biceps, boom, the bis. So that is what I would recommend doing during your fasted workout while you're while you're practicing Ramadan. So again, focus on superset exercises, and in between each movement, about 30-second rest time. So you're going to group two movements together that are opposing muscle groups, and then you know, that's basically your set or superset. And now in between your supersets, so let's say you do chest back here, and then in between, you want about a 2-minute-ish rest time, maybe a minute and a half. Go to the next superset, focusing on 2 muscle groups, and you can hit those. So the whole purpose of this type of workout is to keep your heart rate going. You're just basically not stopping, and you're going to go for like a half hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour with that warm-up cardio. And then when you're done everything, you're going to do some cool-down cardio. So that'll be anywhere between like 5 to 10 minutes as well, moderate pace, maybe even a little bit slower just to actually cool things off. Boom. Workout's done. That's it for the day. So you've done your job. You've probably cut a bit of fat, or you will be cutting a bit of fat later on once you metabolize everything. So your actual meal that you're breaking fast with for Ramadan. Now a lot of people will have things like lentils or chickpeas or things like that, and it's I guess it's really just like a Muslim thing and just the type of food that they would be eating. You don't want it to be like a cheeseburger or something dirty like that. You want to keep your foods pretty clean. So I'm actually going to refer to a previous video I did talking about different acidity in foods, and I think what your focus should be on is consuming foods that aren't highly acidic. So you want something that is going to just digest well and metabolize well for you, and just set you up really nicely for the preceding day where you're obviously going to be fasting again. So I'm going to annotate the video on the screen. I'll put the link in the description below. You can check that video out. And a lot of audiobooks I've listened to on digestion and eating also suggest this, you know, to avoid highly acidic foods. You can also get a pH tester, which I've mentioned in previous videos, and actually test your pH level by like peeing on a little tab, and the color of the tab changes, and then it tells you how acidic your body is. So during Ramadan and during your fasted state, try to keep your body's acidity to a certain, let's say a reasonable level, and I'll annotate obviously the screen again and show you the kit that I'm talking about. So that's pretty much all I would suggest for Ramadan, for fasting, and for your training. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or message me. Again, don't message me if you're going to ask like, how do I incorporate fasting into my schedule, because like everyone has the same 24-hour day. Just figure it out based on the information provided, and go to the link in the description below to the article I posted on fasting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you again next time. Take it easy.